Good evening, Birmingham. How are we doing? We all right? Yeah. Cool. Not bad. Thanks for asking. Cheers. Cool. It's nice. This is good, isn't it? Back on the bloody telly. I'm privileged. I'll be honest, right? I got this news from my agent that I was getting on this TV show, and she said, you know, it's a big opportunity. And she rhymed all these comedians off who were doing it, and I got to be really honest, right? I didn't know any of them. Not because they're not good or famous or well-known. Bit of a confession, right? Not really a big fan of stand-up comedy. Don't really like it. Like, I like doing it, I just never watch it. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I want to, like, I like watching MasterChef, mate. And if I want to have a laugh, do you know what I do, really? I go on YouTube, and I type in on YouTube, forklift truck fails. That's my favourite type of comedy. Dashcam road rage, that's what I'm into. My favourite one, and make sure you put this in on YouTube when you go home, type in American wife tases husband. Beautiful. There will never be any stand-up as funny as that, I promise you. I'll be honest, I've been a bit nervous for this, and I was telling my dad about it. I was like, you know, I've been off for a few months, I'm going to be on TV, and my dad had to give me some dad advice before coming on this show, and I'll explain what dad advice is. Any dads in the audience, give us a cheer. Yeah, proper dad cheer, that, innit? Get on with the jokes, fat boy. OK, we'll do. Dad advice is quite similar to advice, but absolutely bloody useless, right? It's where your dad feels as though it's his duty, no matter what age you are, no matter where you're up to in your life, to know more than you about anything you're about to do, because he's your dad, and that's the job, right? So my dad doesn't know anything about stand-up comedy. He's an engineer in a toilet roll factory. Told him about That's true. Stop laughing at me dad, right? And, sorry, Dad, if you're watching, but told him about this gig, right? And he said, right, son, he said, all you've got to do, you've got to get on stage and make people laugh. Nice one, Billy Connolly. Thanks for that. I'll bear it in mind. Cheers. I think you're at a special level of know-it-all when you're a dad, right? And I realised this when I was about 10 years old. I was sat with my mum and dad, and we were watching Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, right? You know the format. We've got the question, and we've got the 4 possible answers, A, B, C, or D. I saw my dad turn to my mum, and he went, yeah, it's none of them. And that's a special level of know-it-all. You only get there when you're a dad. That's beautiful, isn't it? But good, it's good to be back working. You know what? I'm going to tell you this now. I didn't mind the lockdown. I could have done another 12 months, mate, because... Now, that's quite controversial, but I'll explain why. I got a dartboard the day before we went into lockdown, and I just played loads of darts. I bloody loved it, honest to God. Like, you know, when everyone else, all them knobheads, was buying bog roll, I was in Argos buying a dartboard. That's what I did. See, I thought my first TV performance after lockdown would be on Sky Sports playing Michael Van Gerwen. I'm serious. I'll take this, though. But, yeah, it was good. I actually thought I had COVID dead early on after we got locked down because I woke up and I was aching all over and I didn't know the symptoms properly. Then I realised I'd played darts for 11 hours the day before and I'm quite expressive when I chuck them, do you know what I mean? I mean, I'm not getting on Sky Sports chucking them like that, am I? But, you know. But, yeah, and you know what? Everyone I've told about my new hobby of darts, right, everyone I tell about it, they always look at me and they go, yeah, you look like you'd be good at darts. That's never going to be a compliment, is it? If it was like triathlons or CrossFit, you'd be like, nice one, thanks very much, cheers. With darts, it's like, you look like you've got a frighteningly high BMI and you could sink about 15 pints every time you go out. Yeah, cheers, nice one. I am aware what's going on between here and here. I do know what's happening. I'll explain, right? I'm about half a stone away from changing my Facebook picture to a Ferrari or a football badge. That's how far I am. I've been trying to exercise, right? During all the lockdowns, I thought I'll do a bit of exercise, I'll start running, but... Right, I've tried running before and I've failed a few times. I'm not very good at it. I run really weird. Now, the only way to explain how I run is, like... do you know how most people run with, like, a straight back and whatever? And sometimes you might see someone fall over when they're running, and there's a little run they do between running and falling over, right? Where it's like... and the feet move really fast and the leaning foot... I start off like that. I don't know how I do it, but that's my starting position, right? And I knew I ran a bit weird, but I thought, you know what, I'll give it a go. And what I did was, I borrowed my wife's exercise watch, right? Fitbit, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. There we go, advertising, sponsor me. Anyway, right. I borrowed my wife's watch. Now, I knew I ran a bit weird, and then after I'd finished my run, I looked at the watch, and I looked down, and it said, great swim. Now... You know there's something wrong when you've been for a run and your watch tracks it as a steady breaststroke. You know what I mean? But I'm trying to bring bullshit back, right? Does anyone notice now there's not many good bullshitters knocking about? Does anyone notice this, right? I know we've got liars, like politicians and stuff. I'm on about bullshitters, the entertaining ones, you know aren't telling the truth, but, you know, they just get away with it because it's funny. This is what got me thinking about it, right? I'm trying to bring it back, right? Recently, I went to buy an iPhone cable because mine had stopped working. And I didn't go to the Apple shop because I don't like to give money to the man. And also, it's good to have a fire hazard plugged in at the side of your bed at all times, isn't it? Keeps you on your toes. So I went to this little independent trader, and this guy specialised in vape liquids, ironing board covers, and scouring pads. So what could go wrong when buying electrical items you're going to leave plugged in and unattended for long periods of time, right? So, got in the shot, and I think this cable might have been unofficial. I'm not slagging this guy's business off, but it was yellow, it cost £1, and it had Chinese writing on it. Anyway, right? So this fella gave me the cable, I gave him the quid, and I just said to him, passing, when he gave it me, I said, listen, mate, I said, this isn't going to stop working tomorrow, this is it. And he looked at me dead serious, and he went, no, mate, you get 2 weeks out of that, no problem. Who's not lying in that situation? Just bullshit, right? And I know what it is. I know why there's no good bullshitters anymore. It's because smartphones have ruined it for bullshitters, right? Because years ago, in the early 2000s and the 90s and all that, if you was in the pub with your mates and you wanted to drop a bit of bullshit into a conversation, spice it up a bit, make it a bit more interesting, harmless fun, right? You were getting away with it. There was no one pulling a phone out, fact-checking you, was there? Right? Now, exactly. But now, 2020, you want to drop a bit of bullshit into a conversation, just spice, you know what I mean, make it more interesting, liven the night up. Someone who's not even in your friends group will pull the phone out, walk over and think they can just join in with you. Actually, mate, I think you'll find nobody's ever won the Tour de France on a BMX. Where have you come from? Bloody Johnny Wikipedia behind me, all right, son? And I'm worried, right, because my kids and their kids, like, I don't have kids, but when I have kids, I should have bullshit. I've got 12 kids, no. But when I've got kids, they're never going to have that mate in school like I had, Jonathan Pilling, the world's greatest bullshitter, right? Let me tell you how good Jonathan Pilling was at bullshitting. This was a lad from Wigan who once went on holiday for the weekend to London with his mum and dad. He visited Madame Tussauds Waxworks. He brought the pictures in school the following week, and he went, yeah, we've had a barbecue with mum and dad's at the weekend. Do you want to see the pictures? I goes, yeah, go on then, Jonathan. Let's have a look at these pictures from your mum and dad's barbecue. Let's have a look at these then. Hey, that's a good one. Gandhi, Muhammad Ali and Ken Barlow. Bloody hell. In a council house in Wigan. You've done well there, pal. Yeah, my dad used to go fishing with Gandhi. Did he really? Wow. He told me one of the best lies I've ever heard, and this has still never been beaten, right? Bit of backstory here. We weren't talking about biscuits in the slightest, and he came out with this absolute cracker. He goes to me, Chris, you do know me dad's a biscuit designer, don't you? That's quite a niche lie for a 10-year-old, isn't it? I said, no, I didn't, Jonathan. Next line blew me away. He went, yeah, a bit of a big deal in the biscuit game, right? Who's referring to the dad as a big deal in the biscuit game in year 5, right? I said, what's he done then? What's he known for? What's his big work? He said, do you know the cow on the malted milk biscuit? I said, yeah, of course I do. He went, that was my dad's idea. I couldn't prove him wrong. I didn't have a smartphone, right? Then he carried on going with the lie because he thought I believed it. And he went, also, do you know the nice biscuit? And I went, I'm pretty sure it's called the niece biscuit. And then he went, a lot of people think that. Let me explain. Go on then, fucking. He said, basically, what happened was, my dad was driving, I was sat in the passenger seat. He said, Jonathan, I'm thinking of designing a biscuit. It's like rectangle with little jagged edges. And I went, nice. And he went, that's what I'm going to call it. Seriously. I believe that still was about 23 years old. You've been absolutely nice. I've been Chris Washington. See you again. Cheers. Nice.